We are finally here. UFC 300 is happening this weekend, and just like most people, I can't freaking wait. Sure, maybe that main fight was not what we kind of expected. We wanted something insane, something crazy, but hey, it's still a great card, still a great main event, probably one of the best ever. And I mean, the fact that we have early prelims, first fight starts with. I have to bring my phone. There's so many fights. I'm not going to remember all of this. They're all pretty gnarly. Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt. I mean, holy shit. This is how we start. So I watched the press conference. It was special. It was great. And the biggest highlight of the press conference, is everybody's talking about it, is the fact that there's going to be a 300K bonus. Freaking insane. So now, all of a sudden, like I think somebody mentioned it, and I completely agree with that statement, all their game plans are going out of the window. Sure, somebody still might, especially those guys in the top who have bigger paychecks for the fights, just to show up and not let alone win and all that. But the majority of people don't have something like that, like this kind of a big of a paycheck. So the fact that there's a chance, there's a possibility for them to win a 300,000 bonus, I mean, they're really gonna do anything they can to knock out their opponent, which means we're gonna have some great bangers, some great fights, but also be prepared to have really short fights, because we might see a lot of knockouts and the fights are just gonna end up early. So don't get too excited, because you might complain like, oh my gosh, the prelims are already done. We already went through 10 fights and I don't know how much time passed, but it went too quick. So anyways, that's what Dana White announced, and it came kind of spontaneous. He probably planned this. I don't think you just make a instant decision like that right in front of the world. Oh yeah, what is it going to be, 50, 100K, 150K? And then I think Justin Gaethje, I don't know who else, said, why don't we do 300 because it's UFC 300? And he's like, yep, let's do 300,000. Wow, holy shit. So, all right, I'm just going to do like a quick as I can be, my prediction for all the fights. So, Davison Figueiredo versus Cody Garbrandt, they're both coming off wins, pretty significant wins. I mean, Davison Figueiredo already made a debut in the bantamweight. He moved up a class. He beat Rob Font. While at the same time, Cody is trying to get back to his good old days where he was fighting for the championship. So now he's coming off a win versus Brian Kelleher, which was an impressive win. And yeah, I think this is really how the night should start. And my prediction, I'm going to go with Davison Figueiredo, the God of War. I like him. I don't know. I just feel like he can make a big impact on that division, and I think he could take Cody. We'll see what happens, but my prediction is Davison Figueiredo. Next fight, the old legends, Bobby Green versus Jim fucking Miller. So Bobby Green, Jim fucking Miller. Ooh, Bobby, as we know, is coming off that heavy knockout that he suffered against, where the referee should have stopped the fight, but he took unnecessary extra shots from Jalen Turner, who, by the way, is also fighting. Man, Jim Miller has been also on a crazy run. So I don't know, man. I'm not convinced that Bobby fully recovered from that. Otherwise, I would have probably picked Bobby. But after that heavy knockout loss, and Jim's been on a roll, so I'm going to go with Jim fucking Miller. Jim fucking Miller, because he won at UFC 100. He won at UFC 200. Why not? Let's see Jim win again at UFC 300. Next fight, Jessica Andrade, Marina. Oh, we'll skip that. Just kidding. I like Jessica Andrade. I always enjoy watching her fights. I know there's a lot of people hating on women's MMA, but hey, at strawweight, I can watch always Jessica Andrade. I'm going to go with her. Nothing against Marina Rodriguez. She's great too, but yeah, I just feel like Jessica Andrade is, yeah, she's got this. All right, so next fight will be Jalen Turner versus Renato Moicano. Man, I forgot Moicano was on this card. This guy's a character. I've been loving him recently, and his interviews and his YouTube and all of the comments that he made. Is just a really fun guy, really good guy. I like him. Now, Jalen Turner, as I mentioned, he's coming off that pretty strong win versus Bobby Green. And, I mean, Jalen Turner, he's fighting at lightweight again, so he's making the weight. As long as he makes the weight, he's going to be a huge problem in the lightweight division. But then again, I like Moicano. I'm conflicted here. I like both fighters. I think they're both good, and Moicano has something going now. I don't know how much of a momentum he can keep up, but I didn't think about this at all. I'm going to go ahead with Jalen Turner. I think Jalen Turner is a big problem for the lightweights. Yeah, as long as he can keep making that weight, he keeps that frame. Honestly, he should be a welterweight, but at the very least. But yeah, at lightweight, Jalen Turner is just really, really powerful. The only guys that can really stop him, I think, are those top 5 guys where they get really technical and they can beat him that way. But for the lower ranked guys, Jalen Turner power is just way too much. So yeah, Jalen Turner. That will be the featured early prelim. And then moving on, Sodiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopez. I haven't really watched much of these guys. I watched Diego Lopez. Sodiq Yusuff, I don't really remember if I watched them, to be honest. I think I did. Yeah, I did. It's a good featherweight battle. Now, Diego Lopez is very promising. He's shown some really good talent, and he keeps improving every fight he has. He's getting better and better. So I'm going to go with Diego Lopez. All right, next is the debut, highly anticipated debut of Kayla Harrison. So Kayla Harrison, the biggest question still remains, can she make weight? Did you guys see her at the press conference? She's bigger than a lot of the guys. She's huge. She's so muscular. Like, okay, she obviously lost some weight, but man, she's still huge. Like, let's see tomorrow if she makes weight. Tomorrow's Friday. If she makes weight, I'm going to go with Kayla. I don't see how Holly's, I mean, she's a legend of the sport. She's great. Really, no complaints there, but man, Kayla is too strong, too powerful. Her biggest battle will be with the scale, in my opinion. So if she makes weight, she takes this, I think. We're probably going to see her in a title fight soon enough at bantamweight, the women's bantamweight. Okay, so next fight, featherweights again. And Aljamain is making a debut. Debut at featherweight. It made sense, right? He always wanted to do that. Even if he beat Sean, I don't think he would have stayed there. He would have moved to featherweight. So yeah, and this gives his friend Merab a chance to fight for the title at bantamweight. So yeah, I like Aljamain at featherweight. However, he's fighting Calvin Kattar. I like Calvin Kattar, man. And ever since he fought Max, man, that fight was so good. I love that fight. That was a really impressive fight. And he's coming off a long layoff. I think he's been out for 18 months. Yeah, I think he was battling an injury. So it's going to be a banger, man. But I'm going to actually take Calvin Kattar here. Yeah, I don't think... I like Aljamain featherweight, just not versus Calvin Kattar. I don't know. I think it's going to be too strong for him. We'll see. And then the feature prelim will be Jerry Prochazka versus Alexander Rakic. Now, I'm biased here. I gotta admit, my fellow countryman is Alexander Rakic, so, and I do like him as a fighter. Nothing against Jerry. I like Jerry really a lot, but I'm gonna go with Rakic. Rakic is coming off that injury, the knee injury he suffered versus Blachowicz. It's been a while, but I think he's very hungry, and he wants that attention. He wants that fan base that Jerry Prochazka has, that Jamal has, that Pereira has. He's hungry to be in that conversation. People just don't know about him. People forgot about Rakic. He had a couple of boring fights, but they forget the high kicks that he produces with these leg kicks. I mean, and the body kicks. And it's just so much power behind him. He can knock out people. He knocked out people before. Just people don't, you shouldn't sleep on Rakic. Nothing to take away from Prochazka. Anything can happen in this fight. I'm biased, and I really hope that Rakic can take this win. And it certainly won't be the end of Prochazka. Prochazka's still very young, and I think it's going to make it for more entertaining light heavyweight division. So let's see what happens, but I'm going to go with Rakic. Moving on to the main card. Main card, Bo Nickel. Everybody's saying, like, why is Bo Nickel on the main card? And I agree. I mean, come on. You could have put, honestly, Sterling and Kattar deserve to be there. Prochazka and Rakic naturally should have been also a main card over freaking Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage. I mean, yeah, whatever. Bo's gonna win. It's all meant to be, right? Let's push him to the main card. He's gonna take another win. Sure, it's a harder opponent, but they're literally doing the Sean O'Malley treatment step by step by step. They're taking it nice and slow and easy for Bo Nickel. So not much to say here. Bo Nickel will win. I'd be really surprised if Cody manages to stop him. But yeah, we'll see. So Charles Oliveira versus Arman Tsarukyan. Many people call this the main event. Why not, right? I mean, the names are there. The quality is there. You have a young, upcoming freaking warrior in Arman Tsarukyan that's highly skilled. Can go 3, 4, 5 rounds, I believe. Not a problem. I mean, the way he knocked out Benny, ooh, it was scary. I mean, that sent a message for the lightweights. But at the same time, you have Charles Oliveira, one of the fan favorites. Guy that's been a champion. He can be a champion again. But yeah, this is so hard to predict, honestly. It's really, really hard to predict. But if I were to bet, I would put my money on Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan. That's my bet. Arman Tsarukyan. Let's see how I do. All right, next fight. So we have a BMF fight, and we got 300,000 bonus on the line, and we have Justin, the Highlight Gaethje versus Max Blessed Holloway. Holy shit. This is going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait just for this fight alone. But I'm going to have to go with Justin Gaethje. I mean, Justin Gaethje is the guy that, yeah, bring him anybody, he's going to fight the same way. Unless it's Khabib Nurmagomedov, but we're not going to talk about that. So, I mean, Justin changes careers. He knocks out people. He destroyed Tony Ferguson. We all think that. We all think that ever since Tony fought Justin, he was never the same. He just knocked out. He became the baddest motherfucker in the world by knocking out Dustin Poirier, who, by the way, proved by stopping BSD that he's still up there. He's still great, but that just proves to you as well how Justin Gaethje is great. And honestly, he should have fought for the title. It didn't align, but after this, Justin should fight for the title. Unless, of course, we will see. A lot will happen that night. I mean, you have Charles and Tsarukyan. It really depends on how these fights end. And what are the repercussions of those fights? Will there be any injuries? Anything can happen in a fight, especially this kind of fight where 300,000 is on the line. They're going to go for each other's heads. You might see brutal knockouts, brutal injuries, and then it really depends on who's going to be ready after this, who's going to be capable in a short amount of time to face Islam. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm going to go ahead with Justin Gaethje. Just because, not only because it's Justin Gaethje, but because this is lightweight. This is his class. And Max Holloway, weight class. But Max Holloway already fought once at 155, and it wasn't a pretty adventure. Even though he wasn't terrible versus Dustin Poirier by any means. But I just think Justin is too strong, too large for him. And I hope he doesn't get knocked out. But then again, hey, it's the fight game. You're fighting. You know what? We might see Max get knocked out. You tell me. I want to hear your prediction, especially for this one. Next is Weili Zhang versus Yang Xiaonan. I don't know anything about Yan. I don't think I watched her. While I do know a lot about Weili, and I know how incredible of an athlete Weili is and what she's been doing in the women's strawweights. So I think Weili will defend her title. Weili will... yeah, I don't. It might go to the decision, but I feel like she's gonna finish Yan. That's my prediction. Okay, so now it comes down to the main event. Alex Pereira, the Poatan, is defending the belt versus Jamal Hill, who never lost the belt. He just relinquished it. And the biggest concern here for Jamal Hill is he's only 9 months in after tearing his Achilles. So that's a big problem. Achilles does require technically like close to a year, but yeah, we don't know what kind of treatments he went. He went to the best doctors. Apparently, he went to the same doctor that treated Aaron Rodgers. So yeah, he's been getting the best medical treatment, that's for sure. And let's say he is recovered and nothing happens there. I honestly think that Jamal can win, and I think Jamal Hill will get his belt back. Even though Even though I'm actually rooting for Poatan. I've not been liking Jamal ever since he started fighting fans on social media. He's been too emotional. Just for that mere fact. I mean, that's kind of like, it was pointless. It was kind of stupid. So I'm going to go with Jamal Hill winning this, but I am rooting for Poatan. I hope Poatan can defend the belt. I mean, Poatan is, we all know, I mean, I don't need to add much about Poatan. Poatan is here. He's a 2-division champion. He's a 2-division glory kickboxing champion. The man is a champion, man. And he just, the way he arrived, and he arrived with a blast, man. He took everything from Izzy. He took all the fan base. He took all the hype. He took the title. And looking back at it now, like, yes, Izzy sure knocked him out. He got the title back, but man, Alex won a lot more. Especially after Sean he didn't knock him out, but after Sean took the title away from Izzy, it seems like that made Alex even that much bigger. People forget that he lost to Izzy. And I think this is where kind of like the key is in this match. I feel like with all the power and those, and especially that right and the left hook of Alex Pereira, he does have a lot of openings. At the same time, Jamal was finished before, especially by Craig. If you guys remember that elbow that just popped for Jamal Hill. But he's very durable. He took shots. He took big shots before, and I feel like he's more durable than Alex Pereira. Not that he doesn't have openings. He also has a lot of openings. Now, will he adjust that to minimize it in this fight? I think he should, because you should not underestimate. He should definitely not underestimate. I don't think he will, the power of Alex Pereira. But at the same time, Alex had that opening versus Izzy. Izzy is good friends with, it all matters. I mean, he could give him a few tips and everything, but they all got tape. They all got track records, so they can watch each other's previous fights. They know a lot about each other. There's no mistake about it. But I feel like there will be an opening, and the power of Jamal Hill, might be too much. It might knock him out, just like Izzy knocked out Pereira. So I can see that happening. And if I were to bet, I would put my money on that happening. Now, not to say that, yeah, Achilles might tear again. I know about the calf kicks. I know how much of an impact will that have on those legs if he gets to that position, if the fight takes longer. But what if it doesn't? What if it ends in the first, second round? There's a small little opening and we're done. So yeah, those are my predictions. I'm taking Jamal Hill. Let me know what you think, and we'll see how the weight cuts go. Yeah, tomorrow's a big day. It's Friday. My biggest eye will be on Kayla Harrison, but I really hope that everybody else makes weight. You never know. You never truly know. We might get surprised. We might be so excited, so focused on this fight night in Vegas, the 300. But what if we have some really bad missed weight cuts? That might ruin it a little bit. And yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your prediction, and I'll see you in the next video.